are excited because this week on Driven we have a Superminis shootout to see if our old-timer, the Toyota Yaris, is still the biggest small runabout on the block.
Following a huge response, we'll be updating you on our LPG campaign.
Jason grits his teeth and races in the bonkers V8 Supercar Challenge from Bathurst, Australia.
And the first exclusive pictures of the next Mitsubishi road rocket, the Evo VII.
These little cars, Superminis to the industry, have big ideas. Would you believe they're taking on the family saloon? The latest generation of the Vauxhall Corsa, the new Suzuki Ignis, and last year's Car of the Year, the Toyota Yaris, have never been better in terms of ride quality and comfort, not just for nipping around town, but for flying up and down the motorway. But are these little nippers really the future of family motoring? Well, that's what manufacturers claim, and we'll put those claims to the test tonight in the Driven 100.
Vauxhall reckon we're downsizing, but this all-new Corsa comes in 2 different flavours, 3 and 5 door, with loads of new car safety features and options. This car's got sat-nav, driver and passenger airbag, a multi-function steering wheel, and even an integrated telephone. Ain't that going to distract learner drivers?
Those two are going to have their work cut out to beat our Supermini of choice, the Toyota Yaris. It's very distinctive looking on the outside and on the inside, and it gives you a lot more space for less road. It's the only Supermini to offer the high-tech variable valve timed engine, which basically means that the engine gives the best possible performance across the whole rev range. It comes in a 1 litre and a 1.3 litre like this SR, which is unfortunately a little bit pricey.
Yes, but the new Suzuki Ignis also has a 1.3 engine for a whole lot less cash. And unlike previous Suzuki mini cars, it doesn't look too much like a shoebox. In fact, this 5-door's even got a touch of off-road about it. For sure, it's got less gizmos than the other two, but then again, it is the bargain basement. Manufacturers will sell you these Superminis as family cars of the future. So, to put that to the test, I've been roped into taking 2 noisy ankle biters down to Granny's for the weekend. Come on, you two.
Thanks, Mr. Plato.
Mikey.
I don't want to go.
Come
Granny's
on.
got a boo.
In the back, you. Come on, get in the back.
Thanks, Mr. Plato.
Right, belts on you two. Oh, God.
This test recreates that classic British driving experience. It's wet, it's windy, the kids are arguing, and you're stuck behind that monster lorry with just enough room to overtake. Do any of these little tiddlers have enough mid-range puff to get past? Time exposed to danger.
So we're in the Toyota Yaris, 1300cc, and the most powerful of the bunch at 85 horsepower.
And it goes really, really fast. The fastest of the three does 109 miles an hour and 0 to 60 in 12.1 seconds, Mr. Plato.
What's it weigh, Mike?
Mike, you have to say something.
It's the middle weight of the 3 at 930 kilos. I can't be bothered. I'm listening to Brittany.
Oh, let's have a listen.
We're at 50 miles an hour, we've got a lane change, and here we go.
This is all about mid-range
Here we go.
torque, so it's not bad, is it? It does pull well.
1300cc.
Goes through. The throttle response in this car's not bad at all, is it?
That's good.
It picks up well.
It does
gets through the
accelerate
test.
nicely. Don't have that horrible, scary feeling in this car.
Now we're in the Suzuki Ignis, 1300cc, just like the Toyota, but less horsepower, 82.
And it only has a top speed of 99 miles an hour.
Have a look.
Off
Here we go, here we go.
Well, it's not bad.
Doesn't pick up too badly, but it's getting a little bit tight. Oh, but it's made it. It's got good throttle response. As soon as you put your foot on the accelerator, it's
It's off
off.
and going. It's more tall-sided than the other two, so it's got that wibbly-wobbly feeling as you go
By the
through.
wind, doesn't it? So last of the cars on test, we've got the brand new Vauxhall Corsa. That's a 1200cc, 75 brake horsepower engine. Here we are, 50 mile an hour on the test. Let's have a look.
Oh, picks up nicely.
Lovely throttle
Very
response.
smooth.
Tell
It
you what.
feels much more safe in here as well. And it breathed it. Easy peasy. It's got a smaller engine, less horsepower, but it pulls better than the others. It certainly feels more robust on the road and more stable and less of a toy, and certainly inside it's going to be much nicer to be
For a
in.
small car, it gives the biggest big car feel.
Smaller engines, but with good pulling power, the Vauxhall Corsa kicks off the season with a win. With more relaxed gearing and less weight, the Yaris is beaten into second place, while the high-sided Suzuki Ignis wobbles into the relegation zone.
Last series, as petrol prices went sky high, Driven launched a campaign to promote LPG, liquid petroleum gas, as a serious alternative fuel. It's half the price of petrol, and it's our most successful campaign ever, putting LPG firmly on the motoring map. 2 years ago, there were around 150 UK outlets, and now it's estimated that there will be over 1,000 by late summer. Not bad.
As more people become aware of LPG, attitudes have changed. Glass's Guide, the used car industry bible, now reckons converting your car to biofuel no longer has an effect on its used car price, and most insurance companies have stopped charging higher premiums. But it's not all good news. Some companies still refuse to accept the fact that LPG is here to stay.
Esso, for example, they still haven't got plans to install LPG pumps on their forecourts.
Same with Texaco. Come on guys, if Elf and even little companies like Jet could afford to install LPG pumps, then surely you can. One of the other major issues raised is warranties. Remember Derek Freeman? Last series we lent him a biofuel Ford Focus. He was so impressed that he wanted to buy a Saab and convert it to run on LPG, but Saab told him that would invalidate the car's warranty. So Derek ended up buying a diesel and spending over 80p a litre.
And Saab's position has highlighted the biggest obstacle for LPG. No manufacturers, with one exception, will honour warranties if a conversion is carried out after purchase.
However, it's not all bad news. Any reputable converter should offer guarantees on their parts if they're not covered by the manufacturer's own warranty. And the one exception I was talking about? Nissan. Now, if they can offer warranties on LPG conversions, why can't other manufacturers?
So that's post-purchase conversions. But what about biofuel cars that you can order straight from the factory? Some car makers are trying much harder than others. Volvo now have 4 different biofuel models. Daewoo have introduced 3 with more on the way. Vauxhall are adding biofuel Astra 1.6 vans, estates and saloons to the current range of Vectras. Ford are currently only offering the Focus, but will be introducing the biofuel Transit in 2002.
Right, that's as much as we got time for here, but on our website we've answered your top 5 most asked questions. Everything from power shift grants to other alternative fuels.
And if you haven't got internet access, you can always get an LPG fact sheet by sending a stamped addressed envelope to LPG Fact Sheet, Driven, PO Box 1001, Manchester, M60 3JD. That's PO Box 1001, Manchester, M60 3JD.
Back to the Driven 100 and time for the parking test.
A Super Mini must be easy to slot into a small space and turn on a sixpence. So somehow our 3 little cars have got to fit into this little space behind us. Now to control this nail-biting manoeuvre and root out any blind spots, somebody's got to drive and wear the head camera. Mike,
No, I'm not
it's
doing
your
it.
turn, mate.
I'm not doing it.
We've done it.
Yeah, but you look like Olivia Newton-John and he looked like Mr. Motivator.
And
You look like a prat.
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Right then, guys. The Toyota Yaris. Now, I've been given about a foot front and rear.
What's
to squeeze
my
this
car,
in.
you?
Now, Stop it. What's already difficult is seeing over the bonnet of this car because it just slopes away. But you've got these nice mirrors here.
What's
They're
the
quite a
steering
nice
like?
size, so you can see. Steering is light, obviously, as you would expect. It's got power steering in this car. But what's difficult is that headrest in the way.
Right in the corner.
Right in the corner.
Would
There's
that be
quite
a
lot of-
blind spot?
No, a blind spot, Jason, is when your profile is like that.
And it's
that-
obscuring the view.
Your nose is obscuring the view. Other than that, it's not bad.
Next, it's the Ignis.
The first impression you get with this car is because you're sitting up higher, you feel like you've got more of a field of vision, but actually you've got that tiny letterbox rear window there. Headrest has got a hole in it, which seems to be a concession that they've put in, but you can't see nothing. It's
I
also
never
got
have to do
power
that.
steering this car, so it's quite light. It's exactly the same length, this car, as the little Toyota Yaris. But
You're up the curb if there was a curb there.
I would be up the curb. It's not the best bit of parking in the world, but it's as good as you're going to get out of me, unfortunately, because this car doesn't turn in quite as sharply as the Yaris.
Poor craftsman.
Oh, come on, I'm in.
it's too-
15 years of shifting cars around car showrooms, mate, has done me proud. Look at
You've
that,
just
I'm in.
bumped in at Penny's car.
I never bumped into Penny's car. Not as easy as the Toyota Yaris, but not that difficult either. Right then guys, the longest of the three, the little Vauxhall Corsa. Now this one, we're instantly sitting much lower, so I have to look up higher to get over. I've got that letterbox style rear window again, headrest in the way, and a big C-pillar.
But you can adjust your seat then, Mike.
I can lift it up, yeah, but if I lift it up, Jess, I'm going to go through the roof.
This feels much more like a sort of normal car rather than a toy.
Because the dash is much lower in this car, I can see right over to the corner of the bonnet. Although it's longer, instantly it feels easier. I did touch that car behind.
Only gently.
But then I'll do that normally anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Steering's much lighter and it doesn't load up. And the other thing about this car as well, as opposed to the other two, it's got the biggest mirrors. Now, big mirrors on little cars are a great help.
With big side mirrors, the Corsa was the easiest to manoeuvre. The Yaris slots into second place, but only just, and the Ignis backs in last. If you're interested in this week's Driven 100 cars, log on to 4car.co.uk, where you'll find full reports on all you need to know about the best Superminis money can buy. Coming up after the break, the first TV pictures of the Mitsubishi Evo VII, and Jason gets into a spin at Bathurst. Welcome back. Later, Jason gets all out of shape at Bathurst, but first, exclusive shots of the Mitsubishi Evo VII.
What do we have here, caught by our car paparazzi? Only the first British TV pictures of the new Mitsubishi Evo VII, one of the hottest cars of 2001. It may look like a Clark Kent family saloon on the outside, but underneath, it's a supercar. Like the Evo VI, it's stuffed with four-wheel drive and a 2-litre turbocharged engine, shoving out 280 brake horsepower. That's nearly as much poke as a Porsche, and good enough for 150 mile an hour and 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. The body shell's a bit chunkier than before and probably a little heavier. We'd expect a few tweaks to the massive electronic brain that sends power around the wheels looking for the best grip. But perhaps the best thing is likely to be price, around 30 grand when it comes to the UK in late summer, when it'll face its deadly rival, the new Subaru Impreza STI. And you can pick grandma up in it.
This is Bathurst, an average Australian sleepy town. For 51 weeks of the year, nothing much happens here.
Then there's the 52nd week, the week when the V8 supercars come to town.
The Bathurst 1000 is the jewel in the crown of Australian motorsport and the final race of the season. There's been a 1,000-kilometre endurance race here for nearly 40 years. You may not have heard of it, but the whole of Australia descends on this town on race day. It's like a religion.
To us, I'd say Bathurst is more important than the Melbourne Cup.
More important than Christmas Day, mate.
Yeah.
Due to my success in the British Touring Car Championship, I've been invited to race for the Works GM Holden team.
This is my race car. It's loosely based on the HSV Commodore 300 GTS road car, which can be seen on driveways right across Australia. My nimble 2-litre 320 horsepower front-wheel drive Vauxhall Vectra is dwarfed by these 5-litre 600 horsepower rear-wheel drive monsters. Slower through the corners, but absolute rocket ships down the straight.
The team are racing 3 cars. I'm taking turns in the number 2 car with my British Touring Car teammate Ivan Muller, and champion Aussie drivers Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes are in the number 1 car. They qualified a good 3rd, but we're down to start in 19th place after a disastrous qualifying session. Each driving stint is 1 3/4 hours long, and I'm going to get to drive twice in this 8-hour marathon. Ivan is taking the first stint, which, to be honest, I'm not too displeased about. The circuit is just monsoon. Ivan, who lost places early on, finished his stint in 19th place. Now it was my turn. The power of these V8s is unbelievable. During wet practice, I got wheel spin in 6th gear at 190 miles an hour, A scary moment, but now, on a drying surface, I was feeling confident, and we were flying.
Jason Plato and the second Holden Racing Team Commodore up in contention, going well. Drama! I believe it's Jason Plato in the car, yeah.
They didn't qualify too well in that car, but they have just been clawing their way up through the field. That is a shame.
I'm stuck in the sand trap, can't get out. Sorry, guys.
Right, mate, just calm yourself down because they will get you out of there. They will get you out of there, OK? So just calm yourself down, you'll be OK.
I think we got up to 6, it was going really well, and then these cars are very, very heavy. I have a lot of fuel in, and as the run goes on, all the weight comes off the rear of the car. And I didn't quite allow enough brake balance. We have to change the balance of the brakes. So we've just got to get our head down, stick it behind us, and go a bit harder.
Jason Plato getting a lesson in supercar racing today. Certainly have some stories to take home to England, won't he?
On my last stint, I fought my way back from the wrong side of 20th, and we crossed the line a respectable 10th place. Greg Tander won the race, and Scafie in the #1 car finished 6th to become this year's champion.
That was probably the hardest race I've ever done, and I think also for a van, we've had all sorts this week. Atrocious weather, no running, wet and dry in the race, and you know, one hell of an experience. Definitely want to come back and do it again, and hopefully we can get a better fit finish. 10th, not bad on our first attempt.
Stop press. Check out the Driven website for a special report. The first UK road test on the new Mercedes C-Class Coupe and Estate. That's 4car.co.uk from the early hours of tomorrow morning.
It's the small things in life that are really important, and bigger cars than this have been brought down by the lack of cup holders and cubby holes to store your empty crisp packets. However, our three little cars boast a wealth of hidey holes to store those little knickknacks away, and you want to see the rubbish these two cart around with them. So it's time to stack them full of junk. You ready, guys? Who bought that? Is that yours?
Mine, it's mine.
No, is that yours,
That's mine,
please?
mate.
What are you like? Right, one of the first things about the Toyota Yaris, you'll notice it's got a 60/40 split rear seat, it's got a headrest that lift out, and this bar here, once the seats are folded flat, folds the seats flat again, so you get a nice big flat load area. Flat is the operative word here. But one clever thing about the Yaris is this rear seat actually moves. Jason, lose your kneecaps, but you'll get your parcel in.
Tell you what, we've got loads of room here. We've got two good cubby holes in here. You've loads of space under there.
Well, the first thing you notice in the back is it feels a lot bigger than it really is. You've got two big seat pockets on the either side in the back. Jason, what is this?
It's my calendar.
So predictable. Not a great deal of space for storage, which actually, with kids in the back, isn't such a bad thing always.
A clever use of space with numerous cubby holes and 5 cup holders, the Yaris sets the benchmark. And the Suzuki...
Bro, is that yours? Get it out.
Slightly alien today.
Tell you what, this is quite good. We've got loads of space in here.
Yeah, that's handy.
Proper box, and you can use it as a bobsleigh.
It has a 50/50 divide on the seats. The headrests come out, and these seats do fold flat again.
It's not nearly as spacious as the Yaris.
Sorry, Pen, was that your knee?
That's right, I've got another one.
How is the space in the back, Pen, for yourself?
2 cubby holes, bigger than the Yaris either side, to put loads of junk in, but I'm afraid there's not as much space for the people. Loads of room for bits, but not for people.
An ingenious boot floor, loads of cubby holes and 5 cup holders, but its lack of room for passengers lets it down. And the Corsa.
Ah, Mallory, they're yours,
now
aren't they?
this is what I like a bit of.
Yes.
Big boot.
Oi, stop it! Like the other two cars, this has got split rear seats. This one's got a 60/40 divide. They fold flat, and you can adjust the rake on your rear seat, which is a nice little idea.
I would just like to pass this entire lot back to you.
Why?
Because I have not one cubby hole and not one pocket.
There's nowhere to put anything.
Oh, mate, you're right.
There's cubby holes there.
Oh, there's room for a matchbox. Awfully sorry.
In terms of practicality, the only practical thing I can find with this car is that seat that rakes at the back, which is quite nice. Oh yeah, sunglasses holder. Really useful.
Sweets in there.
I think this car's failing is it's compromised in the sense that it's trying to be too much like a car rather than being a super mini.
Only 2 cup holders and not even a seat pocket in the back. Very poor use of space for a Super Mini. The Toyota Yaris trounces the competition at the final game of the season. The Suzuki Ignis pulls off a coup and boots the Corsa into a lowly 3rd place. Right, it's time for the Driven 100, where every week we rate our 3 cars in 4 different categories: drivability, desirability, practicality and cost of ownership. Now, there's 25 points up for grabs in each of those categories with a total of 100. And we're going to start with our favourite on Driven, the little Toyota Yaris.
First, it's drivability.
They've slapped a 1.3 engine in it and all of a sudden it's transformed.
It's a fun, funky little car.
That's 16 points, but what about the Corsa?
This is, of the bunch, the most drivable car.
More substantial and sure-footed on the road,
Yeah, more stable.
And so it scores a steady 17. And the Ignis?
It was a bit wobbly, it wasn't very stable.
Wobbly.
And it just, whoa, going past that lorry, it was scary, you know.
Scared us rotten, actually, so it only gets 13 points.
Next, it's desirability and the Toyota Yaris.
It's funky, it's fresh, it's got a great little face.
I'd much rather be seen in one of these than any other Super Mini.
We still like it, but with the Corsa...
You're not going to bound into the pub. Couldn't
I've
wait to tell all your friends.
You ain't going to believe this. I've just got a Corsa.
Unfortunately, it's a Vauxhall and it lacks style, giving it 15. And the Ignis?
This is going to be as desirable as a wet, windy day in Morecambe.
Ouch, 10 points.
Now practicality, and first the Yaris.
Hugely practical, cubby holes everywhere.
You can at least choose boot space or no kneecaps. You've got the choice.
Cubby holes, cup holders, plus that sliding back seat means a good 18 points. Can the Corsa compete?
Not practical at all in terms of cubby hole space.
Boot space?
Yeah, it has got one.
Unfortunately not. It only scores 15. And the Ignis?
It's got a flat load area, you can fold all the seats down, it goes nice and flat.
Loads of pockets everywhere.
Big seat pockets in the back.
Not bad. In fact, just better than the Corsa. 16 points.
Finally, cost of ownership and the Toyota Yaris.
It's 10.5 grand to buy, which is a little bit pricey for my liking. And it's 34p a mile.
It gets a fair 19 points. The Corsa is £9,100 and 30p per mile.
It's cheap.
Yes.
If you look inside, you would think it was more than that.
It's cheap.
I think it should cost more.
Got 9,295 pounds.
A deserved 21 points, and finally, the Ignis.
It's only 7,995.
Oh, it's as cheap as chips, isn't it?
29p a mile.
My God.
Leaves you with enough money for the fish as well. A very good 22 points.
It's either promotion or relegation time for our Super Minis, and this week's loser is the Suzuki Ignis. The Corsa put up a tough challenge, but it's just not roomy or stylish enough to topple this week's champ. The Toyota Yaris wins yet again with 71 points.
The Suzuki Ignis is cheap. It is cheap. It's 7,995. That's over £1,000 less than the brand new Vauxhall Corsa, which is a great little car, but when it's put next to the Toyota Yaris, it doesn't quite hit the mark. The Toyota Yaris is a brilliant, ingenious little car, and it retains the title of being our favourite Super Mini on Driven. We'll see you next week.
And on next week's show, it's jaw-dropping time in our drop-dead gorgeous drop tops. The highly desirable new BMW Z8 gets its first UK showing against the established Posemobiles, the Porsche 911 Carrera 4 and the Jaguar XKR.